my screen. Here we go. Maybe you can see that.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
So I suppose as there's only a couple of us on, is there anything like Yvonne, Cheryl, that you want me to show you specifically?
No, if you just want to go through and show, well, not from actually someone else just come in. Not for me personally, because I don't use it that often, but anything that you think that would be useful.
Okay, no problem. So firstly, I'll introduce myself. So I'm Cara, and I'm a virtual assistant. My business is called Miss B VA. And through the business, I help sales and marketing professionals to grow their business by providing virtual assistance on their time-consuming tasks. But one of the other things that I do is I help professionals to become fearless using PowerPoint. And that is a mixture of all different things, but very much teaching them sort of the tricks, little hints and tips that they can use in PowerPoint so that they can become more confident, better using it, and kind of actually use all the capabilities. So just really quickly to kind of go over, I suppose, why to use PowerPoint. So my reasons are everyone has access to PowerPoint, so it doesn't matter who you're working with. You know that when you send that deck to them, more than likely they're going to be able to open it, they're going to be able to read it, and you never have to worry about worrying about formatting issues and stuff like that. PowerPoint is great for capturing your audience, and obviously you can start by using transitions and animation to really kind of lift it from being a flat presentation to kind of a more interactive one. You have full editing capabilities throughout PowerPoint, which is really, really great. So it doesn't matter what element you're using, you'll be able to edit it to a point. You can obviously create your own brand slides, which is amazing. You can really quickly create content. You can copy and paste. There's lots of different tricks that really within 5 minutes you could probably throw one together if you've got that content. You can export your presentation, so you can turn it into a video, you can turn it into a PDF obviously, and then there's lots and lots of other different options, which again is a really great bonus. And then the final sort of thing with PowerPoint is you can repurpose and constantly use the same slides over and over and over again, which again just saves so much time. So I'm going to show you, I think I've got about half an hour, so I'm going to show you 3 skills that I think are really great for anybody to know about and to use. And then if you've got any questions as we go through, just drop them in the comments box, and then I've just left a bit of time at the end if there's any sort of additional questions. So the first skill I'm going to show you is all about customizing your own shapes. So I use PowerPoint constantly. I know, Yvonne, you just said you don't use it that often, but when you use PowerPoint a lot, you do get to a point where you feel like I'm using the same shapes and I want to, a bit of variety, and also perhaps, really make your shapes bespoke to you, your business, your branding. So on this slide here, and I'm just going to move you all down there for a bit. So these are some shapes that I have customized myself using the basic shapes that are available in PowerPoint. So I've created my own little puzzle piece, which actually is quite a popular thing at the moment, especially for people that are working within like the strategy, within strategy. If you're a consultant, people like to use puzzles to kind of show a story, or to show people, where they are in a project or how certain elements will come together. So in order to make that shape, these were the basic shapes that I used. This is kind of meant to be a bit of a keyhole. And again, this is the 2 shapes here that I used. And then I will show you afterwards how you can actually use a basic shape, but amend the editing points to then create a completely different shape. So if I come down to this blank one, so if we start from the beginning, and I will start with the key one first of all, just to keep it really simple. So when you go into shapes, these are all of your basic shapes that are available immediately in PowerPoint. So to create my key hole, I'm going to take my circle, which I'm going to pop here. And then to make the base, I'm going to use the triangle. So I'm going to draw that in there. So the first thing I need to do is obviously put the shapes together and work out what's going to be on top and what's going to be at the bottom. So the best way to always think about it is the biggest shape and the kind of base of your image object needs to be at the needs to go first of all, and then you take the other shape and you would put it on top. Now obviously I now need to bring that shape forward, so the way to do it is you right click, bring to the front, and there you go. So you know, you can alter it, you can now change it. If you wanted it to kind of, I don't know, be a bit more higher, you can bring it up. If you wanted to bring it in a bit more narrower, you can. So just align exactly how you want your shape to be. Then what you need to do is highlight both the shapes and basically combine them together. So you would start with your main shape. So you would click here. You would then also click the next one, and you can do that in a couple of different ways. But for me, the best way is just to hold the control button, and then you would click with your mouse. And then once you've got to this bit, oh, now this is in my way. How am I going to get to the top? Ah, didn't see that. Can I get up there? How do I get rid of? Sorry, 1 second. Let me just try and move this. Ah, there we go, out of the way. Right, that's fine, that can go there. So once you've got your shapes, you go to shape format. It's been a bit slow. Okay, and then you go to this option here. So in this area is basically everything to do with shapes. So this is where you can edit it. You can also actually change your shape. So if you've used a shape and you've changed your mind, this is where you can change it. But if you come down to this option here and click, it will bring up lots of different things that you can do to the shapes. And we're going to obviously bring them together. So we select this option, which is called Union. You would click it, and there is your new customized shape. So it's so simple. I'll show you on another one as well. So if we take the puzzle piece, for example, so you can insert your shape in a few different ways. Now you're in this bit, you can obviously do it from here, or you can go right back to home, go back to shapes, and then select what you want. So for the puzzle piece, you need to obviously start with a square. And one of the important things when you do this puzzle piece is more than likely you're going to want to use more than one. So you need to make sure that everything is very symmetrical and aligned. Otherwise, when you build the shape out, you won't be able to replicate it. So if you draw your square, and the best way to see is you can see obviously the lines will sort of start to come up and kind of give you alignment guidance. But if you just draw your shape, and then once you've got it, oh, come back. Once you've got it, you can fiddle with it a little bit if you want, to the size that you want it. I'm then going to draw the other two elements, which is basically a circle and kind of a little sort of rectangle. So we'll do the rectangle first of all, which I'll just pop here. And then I'm going to draw a circle. So come back up to my shapes, click here, and I'm going to draw my circle. Now, because I want my puzzle piece to have two of these, I need to duplicate both of these ones. So again, with PowerPoint, you can do it in different ways. You can always use the mouse and right click, or you can hold the control button and you'll see this little square will come up on the cursor, and then you literally drag across with the mouse. So do it on this one, hold your control, and then you've already copied your shapes. So I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to put this one here. So I'm going to bring that in just a little bit more. Okay. So now I've changed that piece, I'm going to copy that one. So control, move your mouse across. And because I want this piece to go on the side here, I need to turn it around. So if we turn it like that. And because I want this puzzle piece to go inside the square, I need to set it up a little bit differently. So I'm going to bring it here. And again, I'm going to put my circle just over here for the moment. So if we concentrate on this element first of all before we move on to the other bits. So first of all, you need to make sure that your alignment is perfect. And this is again a really good trick, because whenever you create a PowerPoint, alignment is a really, really important aspect. So you would start with your main shape again, which for us is going to be the square. So if I click on that, and then going to click on these other two here, I go up to shape format, and then the option alignment. So when you do this, this will bring up lots of different options for you to pick. But for me, for this one, I want to make sure that it's aligned to the square in the center. So I'll click there, and that has now moved itself into the right place. I now want to do this one, but first of all, I need to bring this forward. So if you right click, bring to the front, and then I want to align these ones. So again, you click on your square, click on your other two shapes. Oh, do that one first, that one. Go to shape format, go to alignment, and this one's a bit different. We want it to be aligned in the middle on the right hand side. So click that one, and that has now moved. So that means that as you create your shape, when you want to do multiple shapes, they'll all actually, hopefully, fit in with each other. So now to make it one object. So you start again with your square, the main shape. And we're going to do this bit first of all. So click your square, then your other two. You then go to shape format. Sorry for the noise. My neighbours are cutting down a massive tree. You would then go up to merge shapes. And again, you would click union. And then there's the first part. This part, I want to actually make it, I want to remove these elements. So you start with your main square again. You would then click the other two objects. Oh, come back. Oh, there we go. Click there and click there, go to shape format, but instead of clicking union, I'm going to click subtract. And there is my customized puzzle piece. Is there any questions? Let's have a little look from where I'm up to now. Where's it gone? Is there anything? I can't. Is there any questions on? I can't. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Okay.
No, it's very clever.
So, I mean, it's amazing what you can actually create. And basically, any picture, image that you see online, you would actually be able to replicate in PowerPoint using just these little tools. And, you know, I use it all the time for a lot of my clients because they always want their decks to be unique to them. So if we've got no questions on that, I'll move on to my next one. So I'm just going to move this up here now because that's in my way. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is about grouping elements. So one of the things that I get asked to do all the time by my clients is I will receive a picture on WhatsApp or over email of basically a picture that they've seen in a book that they've read that they want replicated in a PowerPoint presentation. And once you've created it, so you can see this was the picture that my client sent to me. This is what I created. And then what I've done is, when you create images and graphics like this, you're quite limited on space. So one of the great things that you can do is you can group all of your elements together, and then you've got full capabilities of amending the size. So what you would do is, and again, I need to move this bar from the top. There we go. So what you would do is, once you're finished with everything, so I've created all of this from scratch, all of these pictures, they're icons, which you can put in, which I'll show you how to do afterwards. But you would literally highlight every single bit that you want to include. And once you've got it all, you would go over to graphics format, which appears at the top once you've highlighted everything. You would then go to group. You would then group everything together and it becomes one image. So that means that when you move this into another slide with lots of other components, it means that you're able, oh no, that didn't work, that one, just use this one. You're able to shrink your picture, make it bigger without losing any of the text, the images, and it will all remain within the same size. And then if you decide that you want to cut this bit out, or perhaps you want to change one of the icons, all you do afterwards is you highlight it again, you go to your graphics format, you go to group, you then ungroup it, and then you can change whatever element you'd like to change. So it's a really, really good tool for anybody who is using lots and lots of different elements on a slide, but they don't want to use, you know, the clarity, the clearance, you know, of the text, the pictures, and things like that. So that again is a really, really good trick to know about. Any questions on that one? Can't say no.
No. Hold on. Someone said something.
Yeah, that was a great tip where you highlight everything, because I've never highlighted it like that. I usually sit there and just go click, 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 and I literally get lost, especially if there's a lot of icons. I just get lost as to whether I've clicked it or not. So I didn't know you could sort of like highlight everything like that. That's a great tip.
Yeah, you can literally, you know, hover over the whole, it will pick up everything that's on that page. And it is, like you say, when you've got so many different elements, it's hard to know what you've clicked, what you haven't clicked. Another really great tip to use is actually to have a backup blank slide at the bottom. So sometimes when you're using lots and lots of different diagrams and you're getting a bit confused, sometimes just taking it onto a separate slide, doing whatever you need to do on it, and then just putting it back into the actual slide that you want to use can help as well.
All right. So if I did that, and I could do like Control All, and then it would highlight all the elements on that one slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, like I said, you can group it all together, but then you can also ungroup it. So you've got full editing capabilities all the time. And again, that's where PowerPoint is great for repurposing, because you may have something like this, but as time moves on, perhaps it's been updated, or perhaps there's another step in the process. You'd always be able to use the same content, just grouping it and ungrouping it. So it would just save you so much time.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so that's that one. That's about grouping. And the last skills that I really wanted to show you was about pictures, which sounds a bit of a funny skill to cover, but actually we use pictures so much in PowerPoint, but sometimes people don't know that there's certain tricks that you can use to help you. So the first thing would be is around cropping pictures. And I know that a lot of people that I work with don't even know about the cropping option. So if I just make this smaller again. So these are 3 pictures that I've literally taken from stock images, which again, I'll quickly show you afterwards, because it is a really good tool now in PowerPoint. But a lot of people, when it comes to pictures, what they'll do is they'll just go in like this, or they'll, you know, move this in, and then you start to obviously lose the actual picture that you want. So the best thing to do is to use the cropping option. So when you double click, it will automatically come up with this option here. Just move that down there. Okay, so when you crop, if I click there, it's been a bit slow, you'll then get these little dots that come up, or little squares, and say I want this picture, but really all I want is this bit of the picture. I can literally go in, decide what I want, and then just use that part of the picture, which will then probably fit better with my slide. Whereas if I sort of now, you know, make it smaller, I'm never going to lose that main bit of the image that I wanted. And if I decide that actually I do want the picture to be bigger, you can literally go back to crop, and you can make it exactly what it was previously. So again, you can really like mold, there's so many purposes that you can use for your images. Again, on this one, if I didn't want all of the pink at the back, I'd literally click crop, move it down, and then I've got my picture. So once you've got your picture, there are then lots of other different things that you can then do. So one of the good things that you can do is you can remove backgrounds. So a lot of pictures that I use, and especially when you get them from stock images, they do have a lot of background that perhaps you don't want to use, or perhaps you want to use this picture in another picture. So you literally can remove the background and just keep the elements of the picture that you want. So it will come up like this as a purple screen, and you've got two options where you can either mark the areas that you want to keep, or you can mark the areas that you want to remove. And if you change your mind, you can discard all the changes, and then obviously you can keep them. So anything that is in purple is basically going to be removed from the picture. So I want to make sure that all my cactus is in it. So I'm going to go to keep areas to keep. And then literally you just click with your mouse of all the areas you want to click, and you do have to click sometimes quite a few times for some reason. Has that done all that bit up there? Normally that would pick it up, but of course it's not going to. So I'm just going to go to keep changes, which is now being a bit slow. Always the way. Oh, sorry about this.
It's all right, because I always struggle with this. I never know whether to keep the areas or remove the areas. So
I tend to do keep areas as my go-to option because I find it a bit easier. But then I suppose it would just depend if you've got a big picture where actually you're not going to keep that much of it. You're probably better than to do it the other way round. But yeah, I just tend to sort of go, I like green rather than red. So I think I just go naturally that way round. Come on. No, we'll just go to start again.
Is it froze?
It's not froze. It's is there any questions why I'm just waiting for my computer to have a meltdown?
No, it's taken it out now, hasn't it?
Oh, is it? Can you see it now? Oh, good.
Whichever, it's gone now.
It's taking a while on my thing. So yeah, so you can see that then, yeah, you don't have to use a whole picture. You can just take out the elements that you want. And again, you would be able to go back in and repurpose the picture if you change your mind.
That's really good.
Oh, come on.
You do your social media posts.
Can you change the background on it?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on, Cheryl.
I was just going to ask, can you change the backgrounds to say if you wanted to put a different colour background in? Is that possible?
I think you can change the colour, and actually it's literally quite funny like bringing it up now. So you can change the colour background here. You can recolour it, but you can also, so sometimes what I would do in that case is I would put this picture, because now this is all clear, you could put it over a colour box as well.
Right.
Okay. It will go on that one. Oh yeah, so if I bring this one to the front now, you can see that you can actually just use it on a block colour too.
Right, yeah, okay, that's great.
So with the colours, and like I said, just showing you different options, so you can correct the colour as well depending on what image that you're using. You can then obviously change the background colours, and you can create different tones. Something I did recently was a bit of the pop art theme. So I used a lot of these kind of ideas at the bottom to kind of really create that look. You can also add in artistic effects as well. And if you've got a picture that is really big, you can also compress it as well, but you probably won't use that option too much. You've also got the transparency option as well. And within all these options, there are additional editing options. So you can really customize it and completely change what it actually originally looked like. So if I move over to some other options, so one of the things that I use quite a lot is the picture styles. When I create slides for a lot of my clients, it's got quite a bit of content, and then there may be an image or something next to it. So I tend to add one of these options so that it kind of will stand off the page against the content. So, you know, there are so many. You can add frames, you can add you know, shadow in if you wanted to. You can even sort of start adding the 3D options. But one of the good things, and I use this option a lot, is the circle one. And this is really good when you have pictures that you're using for organisation charts, for example, because you can literally take your pictures, you can crop them all to the same size, and then you can sort of create this circle effect. And then you can use that in your organisation charts. And then everything is in the same format, the same size, it'll all match, and you don't have to do any of the hard work of the formatting. Other things that you can do, so if we go back really quickly, so other things that you can do, oh, come back please, there we go, is in picture effects. So this is where you can really start to make certain elements of your slides lift. So you can add in 3D rotation. So if I bring that, so you can start adding that. You can have them kind of flat on the slide. You can add reflection as well. You can have a glow effect if you wanted to as well. And you can actually amend and select the colours that you want, as well as the glow options, which is really, really good. So, you know, you'll start with a picture that kind of was a bit like this, and you can transform it into anything that you want it to be with all of these different options. Is there any questions on that?
No,
not on that one, but is there any possibility you could go back to, I put a question in the chat part about, I think it's your slide 8, where you were grouping it and scaling it. And I noticed when you did the top one, the text didn't scale with it, which is a problem I've always had in the past. I've used all the other skills, but when you did the bottom one, it did actually scale the text, and that is something that would be useful.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know why I did it on that one. Let me see if I can ungroup this one as well. 1 second.
That looks like a picture.
yeah, it does.
Right, let's do this one then. Okay. Right, it's ungrouped at the moment. Okay.
It was the bottom one that you did and it scaled.
This one. Well, I'm showing.
Right, sorry, go on.
Sorry, it's all right.
You know what you mean? Because when you did that to the top one, when you grouped it and then tried to rescale it, it didn't work. I noticed that.
Let's try again.
And that's a problem that I've always had in the past. So yeah, if I can do it where the text actually does scale as you did with the graphic below, that would be perfect.
Oh, now I feel like I'm letting myself down because that did work this morning when I was trying. Let me have a little look.
So if you try to rescale that top one now, will it rescale?
It should set and it shouldn't move. I don't know if I've put on. Right, stop. Oh, typical that it's going to not work.
Right, so that's all grouped now. So if you...
Yeah, so you mean this bit now? Yeah, so I'll have to. So I don't know why that's happening, because it wasn't happening this morning. It was all working perfectly. So I'll have to. Quite embarrassing, yeah. I'll have to. I have a step-by-step process for this. So what I'll do is I'll send that slide to Yvonne. If Yvonne, you don't mind sharing on. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It would just be.
Is that bottom one an image though, rather than a group of objects?
I have set this now as an image, which I was going to show you afterwards, because obviously you can, anything you create, you can then go on to create it as an image as well. So that's the next
key.
bit.
Yeah, so that's the key. Sorry,
Maybe
so I've jumped ahead.
Yeah.
I'll mute myself.
No,
again.
it's fine. Oh no, don't be silly, honestly. So yeah, so once you've got this, you can then obviously create it as a picture as well. So I'll just show you that really quickly, but it seems like you probably all know anyway. But if you highlight everything, you literally right click, save as a picture, and then obviously save it wherever you want to save it, and then again you can then insert it and use it all over. But the idea is that it's a 3 point, so you create it, you group it, you can ungroup it, and then you can make it into a picture as well.
Yeah, I think that's my answer then. Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, no problem. So I mean, they were the skills that I was going to show you. I'm not sure how much time we've got left. I think we're coming to the end, so I don't know if there's anything anyone else wants to ask, or if there's anything anyone wants me to quickly show them. Please let me know.
Can I ask about something? It's to do with graphics. I've seen a brilliant presentation where they had shapes. So they had like 3 or 4, say, boxes, and they had an image in those boxes that was just in the boxes.
Yeah, so they've probably used Smart Art. Have you used that before?
What, sorry?
Smart Art.
No, I don't think I've used that. No, is that part of PowerPoint? Is it? No,
Yeah.
I don't think I have. It just looked really good.
Yeah, no, I'll really quickly show you. It won't take me long. So if you go to your insert and you come to this option here, Smart Art, this is probably what you've seen. And so we're in Smart Art, PowerPoint has already created lots and lots of different diagrams, flow charts, organization charts. And what they've done is they've put elements in there so that you can upload pictures. And then as you grow the diagram and sort of put more text in and stuff like that, the system will automatically start shrinking your picture so that everything remains consistent, and a lot of companies will start with these templates, and you can literally scroll down. There's one for
group of hexagons.
Is it something like this one?
No, see on the top
that
line.
One.
Yeah, it was like that, and then it had. I don't know whether it was Smart Art though. I'm sure they were just like shapes, and then they had an image. So the shapes were laid over the image. So the image wasn't in each individual shape. It was across all of them, but you could see the gaps in between.
So they may have started with something like this and then added the pictures on top. And then kind of like what we did with the grouping, they've probably grouped all of those elements together so that you've got that look.
So can you put a picture inside one of them, even though it's
absolutely. So I'll just click on this, and if we go to insert pictures, I'll just take one of the stock images. Sorry, it does take a little while to load quickly.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You can do way more than, I mean, I know PowerPoint's good, but you can do a lot more with it than I realised.
Yeah, there's so much you can do, and even if you wanted the QR code, you can do the add-in now in PowerPoint, and you can actually now customize your own QR code, but you can change the color of it. You can make it really quirky. You can actually like align it to your brand colors as well, which is really
that would be useful.
That's really good.
Does the QR code open in PowerPoint, does it?
So if you were sending a PowerPoint to somebody, they could obviously just literally take their phone, put it to the screen, and it would instantly take them to whatever page you want them to go to.
Ah, so you can create a business card in PowerPoint and give it a QR code and put that on.
Yeah, I can try. So unfortunately, it's the
don't worry about. Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
But if I go to my add-in quickly, I think I've got it already on here actually. Oh, there it is. So yeah, so this is what it's called. It's called QR for Office. Because you're all independent business owners, you probably don't have to worry about this. Add-ins only affect you if you're working for a company, and sometimes they have security restrictions. But literally, you do the add-on, click on the app. It should load up, and hopefully won't take a lifetime. Chuck that there. Just get rid of this. Ah, there we go. So you literally would put in, I'll put my website in, so missbva.co.uk. There's my code, it's already populated, but this is where you can change the colour. So, you know, you can change it to this colour if you wanted. You can then have a background. I mean, I'm making this a bit. You can make it, you know, bigger if you wanted. And literally, it's done. It populates it for you. You click insert, and there it is.
So could you put that in the footer of an email?
Yeah.
And if someone scans that in the email, it would open it in PowerPoint on, say, the phone. Would they need PowerPoint installed on their phone?
No. So a QR link is completely separate. So you can put it on your email signature. You can, because there's lots of different ways you can create QR codes. But if you wanted to create it in PowerPoint, you would literally copy and paste that, put that in your email. And then when your clients are reading the email, they can just scan it and it will take them to your website, to a link. It could be a document that's on your OneDrive that you want to share. Anything that's got a URL link, you can use it for. And then you can obviously, you know, like, so, I mean, this is an awful colour combination that I've just picked, but, you know, say you wanted it to really define your brand, you can change your colours. And obviously with PowerPoint, you have the option to actually put your palette colours in. Yeah. So, you know, it all mirrors your brand, and people will recognise you. As soon as you send that on your email, they'll recognise it because of your colours.
Yeah, because I've got one on my phone, which I've done on Canva, but it gives it a website address and it opens in Canva. And I think people are a bit reluctant because they don't know what Canva is, but if it opens in something like PowerPoint, like pretty much the whole world knows what PowerPoint is, don't they?
Yeah. So yeah, you can use it for whatever you want. There are lots of, once you start using it, there's a few sort of different options and stuff, but it's a really, really great add-in, and it just works with everyone, works with everything. So it is, I think it's a great little thing that I discovered. Yeah, I was so impressed when I did it. It's like changed my life a little bit. So yeah, is there anything else anyone would like to quickly see, or?
What about obviously I presume you can resize the slides, can you? So if you was using this like as another form of Canva, if you like, so you're doing your social media posts, can you resize it to fit different platforms?
Yeah, PowerPoint you can, yes. So it's really similar to all of the other Microsoft products. It has that capability to be used, and you know, I mean, for social media I create videos in PowerPoint, and I love it because in PowerPoint you can really edit the size that you want the video, whereas others you've either got a small size or a big size, whereas in PowerPoint there's quite a few options. So I share a lot of videos through PowerPoint on social media.
Do you save them as a show?
No, so what you do is you export it. So I'll quickly show you. Okay. So, move this over here. So when you go to File, once you're happy with your PowerPoint presentation, you go to File, and then you go to Export, and there's loads and loads of different things. So if you use, for example, Microsoft Stream, which a lot of corporate clients do, you can literally send your PowerPoint off straight away if everything's connected. But you can create your own animated GIF in PowerPoint, and you do it through this option as well. You can obviously move it onto CD as well. But if you click create a video, you'll have these options. You've got 3 options, not 2, for the size that you want your video. And then you can also add in narrations and timings. You can also set how long you want each slide to last for as the video goes on. And then once you're done, you literally click create video. And my biggest tip is just wait for the system to finish doing what it's doing, because you'll see at the bottom that it's all working, the video's exporting. But if you come out of PowerPoint before it's reached the end, it wouldn't have saved the whole video. So I've had people kind of message me saying, I've only got like 2 minutes of it, I don't know where the rest is. And it's like, you've just got to wait.
That's great. That I've never even looked at that export function, because I just thought export meant moving it over to a folder.
So could you use this for if you you know, pre-doing a website, because I'm literally just starting, could you use this to do an initial brochure for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I must admit, I'm a big, well, I say I am, up to about 10 years ago, I literally used PowerPoint on a daily basis and love it. But I'm sort of I say out of the game. I've continued working, but I had no need to do as much on PowerPoint, especially the last 5 years. And I'm just thinking, could I do a very quick interim brochure?
Yep.
You know, where would I say, how would I create that as a video, or what's the best way of sort of sharing that?
I would create it as a video, and before you even create the video, you can even add music as well if you want to have a bit of an effect. But literally, yeah, once you're ready, create the video. You would save it on a desktop like anything else, and then you would just upload it to the platform that you want to share it on. I did one a couple of weeks ago on LinkedIn all about transitions, which is really easy just to pull together. But it's just a great way, because it means you don't have to go to different platforms to use different things. It's all in one place.
Does it keep the, you know, as you would in Word, you would maybe have a document file, but also then you can save as a PDF file. So you've got both formats, you know, for changing in the future. Would you do the same in this, that you would first create it and save it as a PowerPoint file, and then go back in and do create as a video, so you had both?
Yes, I would do that. I always correct. So I always keep both files, always. But also I do change then the videos later on. So yeah, I always keep that core presentation. And then yeah, the videos you can just tweak and, you know, amend as you go.
Perfect. Okay, that answers that one.
It's okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, just following on from the video one, could you, if you have the add-in of the QR code, can you also create your PowerPoint presentation as a QR code or not?
Yep. You can, yeah. So you can use that. You can use them both together. Even if you had a video with a QR code at the end, they'll still be able to scan it. They'll still be able to, exactly the same. So, so yeah, it can work for everything.
Okay.
Kathy, when you've done it, we all want to see it.
Thank you.
Share it in the group.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. So that was all that I was going to show you.
Really, really good. I've learned so much. I mean, like Kathy, I used to use it a long time ago, but not so much recently. But I think I will be now.
I think it's back to that imposter syndrome, though, isn't it? You know, you sort of think, oh, you're out of date, but actually the familiarity comes flooding back. Yeah. So it's done my confidence a lot of good today. Thank you.
Oh,
you just don't realise, do you, that, you know, there's the little things that, you know, as you said, like trying to resize something, and you think, like, been struggling for years over it, and then it's just something as simple as that. But you never think to ask other people. You just think you're the only one that doesn't know it. Yeah, it's been great.
Amazing, the little tricks that can just save you time. Even, you know, instead of clicking on your mouse to copy and paste, just holding the control button and moving your mouse across, it takes a second. It's when you've got a lot of amendments to make and you've got loads of slides, it can be really time consuming. So those little tricks would just really, really help you.
No, that's been really, really good. Thank you so much.
I'm so
Thank you.
pleased. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's good, definitely. I'll put the replay in the group, and then I'm sure other people will be watching it.
Yeah, definitely. And I will send you that slide, Yvonne, for that other bit, because I've got it somewhere. So yeah, I'll send that, because it definitely does work. I know it does.
Okay, yeah, well, if you get that to me, I'll put it out with the video when I share that.
Yeah, no problem. Great.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
lovely
Oh, thanks
stuff.
very much for organising that. It's been really great.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.